I mean, I love the name, the Gentle Barn. Uh, I know you have like 3 locations in 3 states. I mean, you're a busy chick, or should I say chicken, or I don't know what to call you.
Well, being called any kind of animal is always a compliment. So chicken is fine.
So tell us, what is the Gentle Barn, which is grammatically should be the Gentle Barns, because you're in, I understand, the LA area, St. Louis, and Nashville. But take us back in time. What is it? I know it's a nonprofit, but let's talk about what's the story behind the Gentle Barn.
The Gentle Barn was my dream since I was 7 years old.
Wow.
I loved animals. I could hear them when they were in trouble, and I would bring them home to help them. They were my best friends. They mirrored back to me that I was wanted and lovable. I absolutely loved animals. And what perplexed me the most at a very young age is seeing the people around me not see animals the same way that I did. They saw animals as, things that we eat, things we wear, things we can throw away when we don't want them anymore. And I saw them as my healers, teachers, and best friends. And so from the time I was 7, I said that I was going to have a big place full of animals and show the world how beautiful they are.
And you know what? That young Ellie kept her promise, didn't she? I'm sure it wasn't easy. I mean, it is a nonprofit. I know we want to do a shout out to your co-founder. You want to go ahead and do that?
Yeah, so I founded the Gentle Barn in 1999, and a few years later, somebody came in that started as a volunteer, built me a website, a donate page, fundraising events, got on the board of directors. We partnered. A year later, fell in love and got together. And his name is Jay Weiner, co-founder of the Gentle Barn, and we have built the Gentle Barn together from a backyard with a handful of animals to a national nonprofit organization located in 3 different states with hundreds of animals. And over the course of the last 24 years, we've rescued thousands of animals.
I love that. I mean, okay, Noah, you did all right with the ark, but come on. We're talking 21st century Noah and Noette. I don't know what to call you. I mean, but do you feel a little bit like Noah and Noah's Ark? Only you're keeping it going. You've rescued far more because he only had one ark.
I suppose
that's what I was thinking of.
I feel very, very grateful to do this work every single day. I feel very grateful to have had a very small childhood dream and built it into something even bigger than I could imagine. And what we do is we save animals that have nowhere else to go, animals that are too old, too sick, too lame, or too scared to be adoptable. We rehabilitate them with vet care, but a whole slew of alternative methods like acupuncture, massage therapy, chiropractic, energy healing, animal communication, lots of love, holding therapy. And once the animals are well, if we can find homes of their own, we do. And if we can't because they need ongoing care, then we give them sanctuary at the Gentle Barn for the rest of their lives. And then when they're ready, only if they're ready, we partner with them to heal people with the same stories of trauma and connect people to the love and magic of animals.
You know, you touched upon touch, and I don't care if you're a turkey, a cow, a person. There is a lot of healing going on in the power of touch. Can you talk about that? Because we're all sentient beings.
I completely agree with you. So it was about 15 years ago when we did our very first field calf rescue. In other words, in the dairy industry, calves are taken away from their moms so the milk could be taken for humans. And those calves are put into crates where they don't move around, and they're done away with at 8 weeks old. So we got a call from an auction house that had 6 calves that were too sick to stand up. So Jay went to go get them. And while he was doing that, I was trying to prepare for them. So I was getting veterinarians on standby. I was getting energy healers. And I was calling around to the other big sanctuaries in the world at our time saying, like, okay, what do I need to have or do or know to save these calves' lives? Because they're coming to us very, very sick. They can't stand up. Yeah. And all 4 of those sanctuaries told me the only thing you need to know is that they're going to die. What? And I said, there's no way. I mean, I need to do, what can I do different that has never been done before? And so what I figured was these calves were taken away from their moms. They're very, very sick. What reason do they have to live? And what reason can I give them to want to live? And so by the time Jay had arrived with the 6 calves, I had hundreds of volunteers signed up for 4-hour shifts all through the day and all through the night to hold them. And I figured that if we could hold them and kiss them and sing to them and meditate with them and tell them what their life will look like, then we can give them something to live for. And then once they want to live, then all the physical stuff and the veterinary care that we're doing will work. And sure enough, they all made it.
Really? Oh my gosh. If I had hairy arms like Robin Williams, they'd be all standing up at attention. And just what an amazing thing. You don't take no for an answer. And especially when it comes to saving lives.
That is true. The Gentle Barn started because I didn't take no for an answer. So it was my dream since I was 7, but I didn't know how to start. So I procrastinated for a really long time. 24 years ago, I discovered a petting zoo that I'd never seen before. And I went in to see what they were doing, and it was full of cruelty. And I ended up discovering a goat that she looked like she was about to die. Her toenails were 2 feet long. Her legs were deformed.
Oh my God.
Her belly was distended. She was filthy dirty. She could barely stand. And she looked me in the eyes and asked me for help. So I asked the owner if I could have her, and she said no. And I said, well, she doesn't look very good, so I'm going to stay here until you say yes. And I stayed there for 12 days.
Really? Oh my gosh.
And on the 13th day, she came and found me and said, take this goat and get the heck out of here. I brought that goat home, and that was the first rescue of the Gentle Barn. That's how the Gentle Barn was actually born, in my little backyard.
So what is the name of the goat?
Mary.
And Mary, move over, Tom Brady. Mary is the genuine goat, greatest of all time, right?
Agreed.
Oh my gosh, I love your spirit. I love your spunk. Now, you said you kind of meandered before you got your focus, your compass, if you will. So how were you paying for your bills, and how did you end up being able to get land to be able, because this is not a cheap venture.
Actually, before the Gentle Barn, I was doing dog and cat rescue. I always told myself that when I grew up with my very first paycheck, I would start going to the shelters and bringing animals home. And so I started a dog training, boarding, grooming, and walking business. That was my very first job, fresh out of college. And with my very first paycheck, I went right down to the nearest high kill shelter. And I looked around, and there was so much need. It was very, very overwhelming. Oh my God, who do I choose? But I kind of closed my eyes and said a little silent prayer, like, help me know who to take home. And when I opened my eyes, all the other dogs faded into the background. And right before me was a mom with a litter of 7 puppies. And I said, okay, I'll take them home. And I brought them home. And to make a really long story short, unfortunately, the puppies all died one by one of distemper. It was absolutely awful. And then after the last puppy died, the vet said that I should probably euthanize the mom too. And I said, no. This has been my dream my whole life. My first paycheck with my first job, I went to get my first rescue, and they're all going to die. I was like, absolutely not. I said, this mom's going to make it. And I put her on my bed, and I looked her in the eyes, and I said, you are not leaving me. And I put nutritional supplements down her throat, sub-Q fluids in her skin. I held her, and she made it. And she was my first rescue.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.
Four-Legged Life.
Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content.
Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life.